story? I'm recording now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna do it. Because do you know the story behind Arizona iced tea?
I know. So maybe I don't know like his story. What I do know is the guy. I've seen a couple interviews with him, and he's one of the people. He's one of us, man. Like
He's a
was like,
savage, bro. He is awesome.
and he not only that too. He also understands that he's fucking rich, and he was like, nobody. They don't like the average person doesn't need a guy like me to continue to boost prices so that I can continue to live at the rate I'm already living. You know what I mean? Now, he didn't say that verbatim, but along those lines.
Oh, but basically they allow, he cuts costs in other places than to smash his customers.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Which
I mean, him and his kids work there. They literally eat lunch together every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing, man. Like there's a YouTube video about him, and I think I sent it to you.
Which one?
That Arizona video with him. It's like a documentary about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the one I watched.
Yeah, he's a savage, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
Yeah,
like he's the model. He is.
Yeah,
for us, by us.
Good old Fubu.
Good old.
Yeah. What Damon?
Jackson? Okay, Damon.
Yeah, Damon. Yeah.
So who's really Damon's also really big into veteran entrepreneur, like helping veterans become entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I did see that.
It's pretty
cool. Guy.
Yeah.
He's been here a few times. I've seen his billboards.
Oh, yeah, man.
It. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying this is Sasquatch Sunday.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Tell us what's going on at Broken Bridge, man. I know you're under like 600 feet of snow, but just we haven't done an update in a while, and even if it's just a 15-minute episode, whatever, this is going to release next Sunday. I'll just I did an episode for this as we speak. It was released. The Choctaw Bigfoot War.
Shit.
Yeah, man. It's a pretty cool episode. So anyway.
I'm excited.
So folks, if you haven't listened to that, go check it out from last week. So Broken Bridge Research Area. What you're under snow, man.
Yeah. So I don't think we talked about the time that myself and my buddy went out there.
We sort of did, but you and your other buddy went out there and had some
a few weird things go on.
As per usual.
Yeah. And the buddy I went out with, he's not into this world, like
what do you mean, man? No, everybody's into this.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. It's just funny to me the things that we can talk about and get ostracized for. But then for other things, it's like, oh, this is normal.
Totally normal.
All right, whatever. So we went out there and he started getting freaked out. And he's the one who said something where he said he was hearing owls and he was like, dude, have you ever heard this many owls at once? And I was like, no, not really, man. It's usually like one.
Not out there. It's one or two.
Yeah. Like you'll hear like a, and it's off in the distance, you can kind of hear, and I hear them frequently around here. I mean,
oh yeah, they're there for sure. But
yeah.
Again, that's good cover. Just saying.
Sure. But that sounded different, man. And again, this is just what happened. I'm not adding shit to it. The reality is that we heard a bunch of owls at I think it was around midnight, 1 a.m, around that time frame, because that's about when we were about to go to sleep, and then we were like, maybe we stay up a little longer and see what's going on. And it was when we got the fire roaring. Like the fire started roaring, and
did you get the new fire pit out there?
Yeah, yep, it's out there.
Awesome. It's a lot safer than the old fire pit.
Yeah, dude. Well, the old one didn't have a bottom, so we were just working off the
remember, I thought
ground,
I was going to start a forest fire, dude. When I was out there that one night by myself, I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
anyway.
Well, thank you for the
that's awesome. So that works. And then, so, late.
Yeah. And then that happened.
Late at night, the way too many owls. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. It sounded like, dude, like 15 or 10 to 15 owls. It was like they were singing, man. And
that's not normal for out there. And this was when?
This was, so we went out. It was cold out. There wasn't that much snow on the ground. I think, when did we record that? It was like 2 weeks after we recorded that episode. So, or 2 weeks before, I meant to say, we recorded that episode.
Yeah.
So early,
so maybe like November, maybe.
Yeah, either November or September time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Hold on one second. Let me close that door there. My doggies are going nuts in here. So after that, I'd gone back a few times. Again, that track is still there. Like, I haven't touched the earth in that area where we saw the drag marks and like the scuffle, where whatever it was. And again, we couldn't really distinguish. All we could see were like claw marks in the ground. So something was rough. There's a ton of coyotes back there. So that can make sense.
Yeah. And the thing that was so weird with that, though, is that there's like no blood. There's no, and it was
no
as
fur,
if
no feathers.
Yeah, right. It was as if something was fighting or like something like, I mean, it could have been like coyotes bringing down a deer or a Sasquatch bringing down a deer, something. But that scuffle, all those drag marks and stuff, it was so bizarre.
Dude, and
but that's all still there.
Yeah, it stayed for months. Yeah. And like generally, and this is just based on my experience, like walking around, like tracking animals, and especially in the wintertime, man, the prints are there. Like, you see the prints, even if it does snow. As long as you see them the first time, you can kind of identify where they're at. If it snows in a little bit, you can still try to find them. It makes it a lot more difficult, obviously.
Did anyone hunt back there this season or not?
No, nobody, not this year.
So I had a few, but the stands are still up, right?
All the stands are, yeah. So there's like 4 back there. 2 of them are behind across the river. So to the section that we rarely frequent, which
we haven't been to in quite a while. Yeah. Well, I've never been over there.
Actually. It's a different world. So, it's a complete different.
Well, you say it's like a million times more spooky.
Yeah.
It's just because nothing goes back there. Nobody.
Yeah, and when you look at the map, the way that it's set up, we will not be plugging my address in here.
No,
but no, I'm joking. But when you look at the map at where my house, I'm right butted up to a main road, which is like a main rural road. So it's not frequented super often. 7 in the morning and 5 at night.
We got, and just to be said, there's plenty of Amish that drive their
buggies,
those carriages down the road. Yep. I mean, and so there's nothing. It's rural.
Yeah. There's not much out here. Like you're saying, man, there's just a bunch of Amish out here in us.
Yeah.
And so going into the wood, the only way to get to that back side of the woods, and I've already like tracked this out because I drove around. I found the road on the opposite end. It's about a mile away from my house here, straight back, which I believe is north. Yep. North. And
straight north.
Yep, straight north, towards Pulaski area. And there is like this there's a small like road there with no housing on the other end. So you'd have to stop at a random spot that most people wouldn't even know where to stop. You'd have
and
to
it
know
doesn't even have a
exactly.
pull. It doesn't even have a pullover. There's no shoulder. There's nothing. It's just ditches. Right.
Exactly.
Because I've been on the other side too, and I was holding I'm like driving with my phone, like in map mode, like, okay, here. Yep. And that's not even your property.
No. You have to
walk through someone else's wooded property, which is at minimum, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's minimum, it's a half a mile of woods on either side of the entry point.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
It's all privately owned land.
It's all privately owned woods.
Yeah.
That there's no structures, there's no nothing. For a mile at least.
Yep.
It's not.
You're 100%
hundreds
right,
of acres.
Man. Yeah. So the two properties that butt up to the back of mine. So my property is 94 acres. The properties connected to the back that you would have to pass through to get to my property from the other road is 44 acres and 80 acres. So, and they're both hunting properties. And the dudes that own them, I don't know exact. The last time I knew, they lived in like New Jersey and somewhere else. So they were in other. They're in other states. So nobody goes there, man.
Yeah, and I've even scoured Google Maps, and there is no like hunting cabins. There's no sheds. There's nothing. At least that you can see through. But there are stands that I've seen that you can
wooden built. Yep.
Yeah, but only at certain times of the year. You can't see them in the summer. But when they do winter flyovers and stuff, and they'll take updated pictures or whatever, you can see some of the stands. But either way, they're nowhere near your property either.
No,
and we're not even talking about the back of your property. We're talking about like a halfway through your property.
Yep.
And there's the other side on the back side. It's not your property, but it's the adjoining one, is that weird field.
Yeah.
We need to investigate that thing.
So I've been out there. I've gone to that field because that wide open field, as you know, is not part of my property. And there are posted like trespassing signs on the wood line from that to and dude, I'm telling you, you step out of and it would make sense.
It's like a meadow.
Yeah, dude. But it would make sense if smaller trees were growing there. But like, unless there was no foot traffic, man, there was 6 foot tall grass. Like no one's been out there. There was no, like the only things that I could find were game trails through the tall grass, which I had to climb into a tree to even look down to see that.
It would be what I would say is literally, it's like it was a field that somebody abandoned, but it couldn't have been that long ago, number one. Or it's like a food plot.
Which that's what I think it is, because the two guys that owned those properties owned them strictly for hunting.
Yeah.
So I think what they did was they set, like, it must have been taken care of for an extended period of time, because if it wasn't, the woods would be exactly the same as my woods. There would be no difference.
There would be no difference.
Yeah. And it's just, dude, it's like a wall. Like there's a wall of trees.
Oh yeah, that's what's so scary about it. It's kind of like, damn, like, So there's, there's stories, and I'll say it this way. There's stories throughout time and history, and even now, about these, what you would call meadows. I think one of them is even called the meadow, or it's a research area. But I would like to go back there this coming spring.
Yeah.
Once everything thaws. Well, I say spring, but that usually means May in this area. Where the glaciers
melt
out, right?
Yeah.
And get back there, because I also am 100%. I am committing to you on this podcast today. Right. We're gonna get that bridge in order, not necessarily for like us to walk across it. Maybe we should even tear it down. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like, and I say tear it down, I don't mean tear it down. I mean rebuild it, but lower, because why is it so steep? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's so bizarre why whoever built it, because it wasn't you, right?
No.
But whoever built it, like, why did we have such a angle? I mean, it's not like you have ships coming through there underneath the bridge.
No.
Right.
No, it's a tiny miniature river. Like,
right,
it's nothing crazy.
It's like a stream, literal stream. But there's fish and everything in it, right?
Yeah.
Brook trout. What else? Is that it?
Brook trout, brown trout.
Was there any panfish in there or not?
No, not really. Like minnows and stuff. It's
I think
too
we
small.
should pull some fish out of there and cook some of them up at the research camp. Just saying.
I'm down.
I love trout, man. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. So maybe even get out there with the chainsaws and like cut those pillars down to a manageable space. Like, folks, I'll put the pictures in the show notes because we've talked about this in the past, but you're talking about they're telephone poles essentially.
Basically.
That are driven into the mud. And they're unmovable. I don't know if they cemented them in or what, but
so
it doesn't even shift.
They have so whoever built it must have like shoved PVC down into like created a gap for the PVC to backfill it with cement or put rock, whatever they filled it with, but they are solid, dude.
Whatever I'm saying is you can build anything on top of those things. 100%. Like they're serious.
Yeah.
So those aren't going anywhere, but maybe get rid of the wood that's kind of crap and then cut those down so they're maybe like 3 feet off of the water, not 6 or 7 feet. Those poles, they're coming out of that stream like 6-7 feet.
Yeah, they're up there.
It's so bizarre.
I know.
So I don't.
Logically, it made no sense why this person built, and it was very jerry-rigged together because half of it was built out of like deck boards and half of it was built out of trees. So they it was chopped and pieced together, and it was.
Well, you can tell also that it's been there a while. It's got a got a hell of a patina. So, but either way, we should fix it up and then see what happens, right?
Yeah.
I am also a firm believer in like, you and I have talked about this and we've done it too. It's the gifting rocks or gifting whatever. So maybe what we can do is create like a gifting stump that's like halfway or just on their side. And I'll say their side because I'm convinced that's where the center of all this is over there. Yeah. So it's not like I want to go invading.
Yeah.
But I do want to go investigate the side, and I'm not saying that we regularly do it or whatever, but also that's the other thing. I want to hunt there next year.
Yeah.
Not selfishly. And I know you want the venison. You're not going to turn it away.
Nope, definitely not.
So I would love to hunt there next year. I mean, I have a lifetime license in the state of New York, and I haven't hunted for 2 years. So it's like, I'm itching to fill my freezer for myself. I hunted in North Carolina and got some meat there, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, brother. It's easier to do it where you live.
There's some good squirrels. Plus, do you have turkey on that property or not?
Dude, everything you can imagine.
Yeah, I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Again, on the northern side of your property, it thins out a little bit once you get towards those other properties. So it's like perfect turkey country.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I also, before I forget this, when we first moved here and the bridge was up and we were able to cross and get to the other side easy, we used to go over there. And I had we had like a little, so what happens is it levels out and then it goes straight up. And the forest on the other side is way thicker. It's a much older forest because I don't believe it was farmed at like the portion closer to my house, the southern portion.
Even the part closer to your house is rough.
Yeah.
It was probably not farmed, but it was probably logged.
Yeah, that's what loggers have told me in the past, and that's why they told me to wait another 10, 15 years before they come out and do it again. And make
at
a good
least on that
money
side, but they're not getting to the other side. There's no way.
No, there's no way. They'd have to build.
You'd have to build a whole new road.
Yes, from the other side of the road, and that wouldn't.
You're not doing it from your side. There's no.
And the money it would cost to do that would outweigh anything I would make off getting the wood, or getting the logging done. But I found this actually happened. So I've told you I found the scat with like the massive marks around it, and we couldn't really tell. We thought it was a bear, and I took pictures of it, but I looked up pictures of bear scat because I'd never really seen them that often until I lived here, and it just looked a little off, man. And not to say that the bear couldn't have had some digestive issues, but it looked a little different.
Remember the scat that we found at the gifting rock up on top of the fence?
Really similar to that.
Yeah. And that's so much, bro. And again, a bear's not climbing up on that fence.
To take a shit on top of a fence? That makes no sense.
Right. Just off camera. Off camera. Like within 2 to 3 feet off camera. Yeah.
There's no way.
And it's not coyote, obviously. It's not coyote.
Yeah, no.
And it's not deer because, they're not climbing up on fences either.
They also shit pebbles.
So yeah. What I understood is it was very similar to this shit that we found on the top of the fence. Or did you even see it, or did I just take pictures of it?
You took pictures of it. And said,
yeah. So you saw the scat on the other side,
and we also saw so the guy that used to live here was he was in the military, and then I don't want to give too much information about him because I don't want his stuff out there. But he was an avid hunter, and a couple of those stands are his that he set up back there.
And
he just left them.
Those are nice stands.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, man. I mean,
ladders,
they're
perfect. They're amazing.
Yeah, and so he basically just left everything. I didn't have much contact with him. They were kind of in and out, and they wanted out of the house pretty quickly, just based on not because they didn't want to live here or whatever, but so anyways, we go back and I found a fire pit, nobody built anything. It was just wood that was burned for sure because it was all charred and there were coals, and like a plastic bottle and a couple other little things. So a person had been back there, and I'm guessing it was him. So I didn't think really anything of it, and that was the last time I saw anything like that back there. I didn't think that was strange. There was a lot of man-made stuff back there, like bottles, cans, shit like that. I think it was like a spot he would hang out at. But
maybe. I mean, who knows? During hunting season, because it was such a pain in the ass to get across, maybe he would just set up camp there. And
I would in that area specifically. It was all it's all fern or not fern, pine needles. So it matted down the
pine forest, literally.
Yeah. So it was easy for him to lay. Yeah, and so that wasn't the weird thing. Now we're moving. I'm bouncing around like crazy, like usual, but. So a couple days ago, my wife put out Brussels sprouts, like raw Brussels sprouts that we weren't going to use, like the trimmings and stuff like that. She put them in a little container and set them out on the front because there's rabbits that'll, like you can see their tracks and shit. The next morning, literally nothing was picked up on, and we set it in a way that if something came and got it, the camera would have picked it up. It's facing the camera like 6 feet away. And it goes off constantly whenever anything shows up. So, and the camera was on, I checked it, had pretty full battery. And the next morning, barely any tracks, the same tracks that we had noticed from before. And it was all gone. Everything was gone. The container, everything was gone. Everything was gone. There was no Brussels sprouts around. Like if they were eaten out of it or anything, it was just gone. So, and there was no so in my head, I'm like, if a deer tried to pick that up with its mouth, because they don't have hands, it would go fucking everywhere. Like something would have spilled out of it.
Opposable thumbs.
No. But then the other thought is like, okay, well, maybe it ate all of it and then picked up the container and ran with the container. That could be a possibility. The rabbits
container blown away.
the container could have blown away, but I walked around everywhere. I don't know where really could it have gone. That's possible. That's absolutely possible. So like, there's all these, the thing that's weird though, and maybe I was hearing things, but literally my wife was gone so she set it out on Friday night. Last night, she went to meet with her cousin. They were hanging out and stuff. She stayed the night at her cousin's place. I stayed here. At around midnight, I heard a thud on the wall where there's no cameras.
The same wall where there's no cameras. And you've anyway.
And I have a camera pointing that way. My dumbass had it turned off. So of course I hear a thud. My dog, again, Ruby, doesn't make a sound, just gets up and looks in the direction of that and just kind of puts her head down. And I was like,
which is bizarre because they bark at everything.
You heard them just now. They're losing their shit because I'm out here and they can't see me. So no sound. And then about like 10 minutes later, I heard another thud and it was on the wall. I don't know, man.
No, I got you. No, it sounds crazy, but it's not. It's not crazy.
Yeah, and I thought I was losing my shit for a second, and I peeked out, and I was like, hit the flashlight, looking at the area, like nothing, man, nothing, literally nothing. And
so that is the same wall that something tapped on your window.
Yes, the same wall, same area, same. Right.
Your window that's like 8-9 feet off the ground.
Yeah, that would have taken a basketball player. And one of a center or power forward,
like 7-footer. Because I've looked at it too, and it's
you can't reach
it. I can't.
No,
I'm almost 6 feet tall, and I'm almost 6 feet, and I can't reach it. So nope. Yeah,
not happening, man.
Yeah. It's a good 8.5, 9 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That's cool. I mean, it's activity.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
It's something. And again, it made to me immediately in my head, I was like, you put the Brussels sprouts out, man. Like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like,
and that's the other thing is there was no camera activity on the Brussels sprouts.
No,
so,
nothing.
Telltale sign, man. To me,
it would have picked up a deer. I'm telling you, dude, if a deer had walked in front of that thing, it would have flipped on, no question.
Yeah. Just a rabbit, it won't. Just like the trail cams that we've had out at that giving whatever you want to call it, the giving rock, giving fence. I had multiple deer. You know, like one of the apples, a deer came and ate. Because you could see it. The other apple, I don't know. It just was in frame and then it was gone. I didn't see anything behind it. But there's video. You gotta find this. There's a video of a guy. So he would like put apples out and he would put them like on top of logs and he would thermal the logs. There's actually a video of a hand coming up from behind the log, grabbing an apple and going back.
Well,
here's the thing. We don't really use the cameras anymore, and we haven't been doing this that long, but I got some good advice, and it's one of those things that we're not using the cameras because we think we're going to catch Sasquatch on the or Bigfoot on the cameras. We're kind of using it to channel where we want them to go or not go. Right. And that seems to be very effective. So
dude, since the camera has been on in pointing out that window, nothing.
Right.
As soon as I'm in there
and alone, you had it off.
And it's off. I hear the thuds.
Wow. Crazy. But
and you know what? And you know what people will say? Bullshit, man. Dude, I have no reason to make any of this stuff up. Like for nothing. This stuff could potentially, me even talking about these things in my head could potentially get me in some sort of trouble. or people look at me funny or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm not winning from talking about any of this
you're
shit.
Not winning.
You know what I mean? Like the reason I am is because it keeps
not like I'm
happening.
paying you to say these things.
No,
either.
dude, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm just here to be here, man. You know,
I'm just saying, kind of funny, but yeah. Oh my God. I mean, because like people like, so I have stories now, right?
Yeah.
And I do make money with this podcast. I do. Sorry.
Hell yeah, brother.
I do. So, but so people can be like, well, you have a vested interest. Yeah, I do. You're right. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a vested interest in lying and tarnishing my reputation.
No,
right?
Not at all, man. Because it can all be found nowadays. Like if you're willing to go out there and bullshit people, you better have hidden all the shit you've ever said or done.
Skeletons better be hidden, bro.
Or
you better have a really good answer.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. I've made a living off telling people, talking about my deepest, darkest secrets. With people.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know, I mean,
look at that.
I will tell you the complete truth about everything. So yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Like the example that I love to give is that when I was out there alone and my thermal failed twice. It just says everything that needs to be said to me because I was so prepped and I had literally, I mean, we were military, and I know all about channeling things to where I want them when it comes to the path of least resistance. Right. And it 100%. Couldn't have been any more perfect that night with the cameras, the way I had them set up. There's only one gap where it, could have come to the fence. Because again, folks, if you haven't read, we have a fence around, Joule has a fence around the campsite. Yeah. Because of past experiences.
100%.
Yes. So it's not like going to stop anything, but what it's going to do is make something pause long enough that,
we can move
it has to traverse where you can either shoot, move, and communicate.
Literally.
or whatever.
I just need a couple seconds. That's all.
Yeah, you've got a couple seconds, right? Yeah. And so I left that one gap because I had like 4 trail cams.
Literally
covering everything. And then I had that one gap of about 10 feet wide. Where something could have came up to the fence. And where did something come up to the fence? Right there. Mm-hmm. And when I guess you could say ambushed it with my cameras, they went dead. It wasn't even like whatever, like it powered on. Mm-hmm. I could see that it had full charge. As soon as I engaged it with the recording, like I've got my phone because that's what it was. It was 2 iPhones. I engaged the record button, black. It went dead. Then I did the other one. Boom. Same thing. Within about 6 seconds, boom, came up dead. And then I could hear whatever it was moving off because it's dark out there, bro. As you know. That's like if you guys look on Google Maps, or it's not Google Maps, but they have the light pollution map. Yeah. If you look up a light pollution map, it's one of the areas in upstate New York that is black. There's
nothing out here.
The only light pollution we're getting is from Joule's house, and that's like nothing. He doesn't have. He has to have that one floodlight. That's
in the driveway.
In the driveway floodlights, which are pointed the complete.
Yeah. It's not touching back
90-degree away. Yeah, you're not. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about what? I don't know how far back there it is, but it's a 20-minute walk. It's a 20-minute walk through the woods.
That's like a quarter mile back.
Okay, where we were. It feels like it's so much longer, but about a quarter mile's not that bad.
It's just the terrain and how you have to get back there,
and it's all trees. And it's undulating terrain. Like there's little there's elevation changes and everything. So so we're not getting any light pollution at all in it.
No.
Dude, I couldn't see the hand in front of my face. Literally, when I turned the iPhone on, I was like, holy shit, I can't see shit.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah. And
but,
it's that FLIR that you use, the thermal. We literally had the entire time in the Allegheny National Forest.
Yes.
Not once did it have an issue. Not
once. And I have video of deer. I have video of raccoons and us. And hot spots in people's car, like all the things. Like those thermals are legit.
Yes.
And nope. Nothing. Fucking dead. Zoop, suck the battery right down. And they weren't just like, oh, they turned back on. No, they were dead. I had to recharge them. So,
and anyway. It was. And for people thinking it was cold enough, absolutely not.
It was in the middle. It was freaking August.
Yeah, it was like what 70, 60 at night at the lowest. Yeah,
it was. Thank God it was one of the cooler weekends that we had. But it was. It couldn't have been less than 68.
Yeah. There's so there to remove any of the idea that like the cold killed the battery or something. No, that's not what happened.
No. So either way, guys and folks listening, it's there's something going on here in upstate New York, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I fucking love it out here, man. Honestly.
Yeah. So, man. So I guess those are the updates. And the things that we're gonna, do this summer to improve the area, and we're gonna get to the other side of that stream.
Absolutely.
Probably we're coming soon. Do a little fishing too.
Yep. Got my waders ready.
Because your buddy hunted it last season, not this past season, the season before that.
Yep, like 2 years ago.
He pulled that monster 10-point out of there, right?
Yeah.
Gorgeous deer.
About I think around like 200-pounder. It was insane.
Big old deer. We actually do, like Tug Hill's got some decent sized deer because there's a lot of farmland too. So they get corn and soy and eat.
They're jacked up.
Get all jacked up, right?
Yeah.
It's not like the Adirondack deer.
Yeah, no. You're not getting. They're not like dog size.
Little mountain deer are tiny. They're eating like leaves and bark.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, these fuckers are getting like a full nutritious diet out here.
Yeah, they are. Which again shows, there's reason to be there. So this is one of those things that's kind of cool. This is the last point we'll touch on.
Mm-hmm.
Is that remember we had theorized that it might be a transient population of, but if you this past weekend, or when was the Brussels sprout?
Friday she put them out.
Okay, so is this
yesterday?
Literally yesterday. So we're knee deep in winter here. It's February 2nd, so this was February 1st, and it was freaking cold last night, bro. So
-5.
Yeah,
-5, and I have 5 feet of snow.
Yeah,
that's not even exaggeration.
So at the end of the day, I think that theory might be out the window if you, if that's what it was. Again, who knows? I don't see an alternative, but of course we're a little biased, aren't we?
Yeah.
And people can be like, well, yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But my belief is that maybe they're not transient.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. I agree with that.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, because again, just based on the interactions here that I've had, dude, there's nothing that can convince me, and I'm a very open-minded person. There's nothing that can convince me the night that thing rushed my fence, and the forest crashed down, and I watched the darkness fold open, and then going back there to see trees pushed down and shit. I've never in my life seen. I thought a rhino was coming.
There's so much stuff too that we don't. That it's like when you get into this stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that happens that you also leave out stuff. You're like, oh God, I remember. So we have that Blair Witch stick. Woven stick thing.
Yeah,
which is probably still there. But I have pictures of it. But literally, it looks like it was those sticks were woven together from from the from about a 6-foot height all the way down to the ground.
Yep.
What does that?
No
Not
idea.
squirrels and not raccoons. They don't do that.
Nope.
Bears
And
don't
there
do
were
that.
other branches from other trees from other areas
Wedged into
in
the
between.
yes. It was
Made
just
no
and
sense.
it almost and it literally was like if you couldn't have, I don't know. I guess it could have been complete chance, but no. It's just the way it was done was so exacting.
Yeah.
And it made no sense.
Dude, if I go back there and there's like a fucking fort built,
Well, see, this is one of those things that I'm anxious to see next year because you haven't been across the stream in
a couple years.
Yeah. So that's huge. It's like a whole new frontier, man. And we might see structures back there. You never know. And
now that I'm looking, you know what I mean? Now, before when I would go back there, I was just trying to look, you know what I mean? I wasn't looking for anything. I was just wandering around.
Yes.
Now that there's a purpose behind, you know what I mean? Like it adds this extra layer of like situational awareness. Almost.
Well, I have another place. So you know where where you're talking about building a like cabin or like a someplace that's more permanent.
Yeah.
In that clearing. Well, if you go down that, because that drop off that goes right down to the stream, then, which is a pretty substantial drop off. Yeah, there's a game trail that comes right up there, and you can see it's like, and I've seen deer come up it.
Yeah.
So I want to set a trail cam there too, because there's like a tunnel through the thickets all the way down, and then I went down there, and you can see where they can cross the stream.
Yeah.
And that's not right by the broken bridge. But at the end of the day, folks, too, the reason this is called Broken Bridge, I'll just reiterate for folks that have never heard it.
Yep.
The reason it's called Broken Bridge is because there is a bridge that has been, in my opinion, torn down by something, because it was good and then it wasn't.
Yeah. It was up.
And it literally looks as though it was broken, not failed for, I mean, what the hell would have caused it to collapse like that? Nothing. I can't think of anything other than either something walking across it or deliberately tearing it down. So this is why it's called Broken Bridge Research Area, which I can post some pictures of that again too, but and I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, exciting stuff.
Hell yeah.
Couple months away. We also, I think, don't we have a trip?
April.
Possibly in April, right?
Yep.
To Allegheny. Well, it's Allegheny, but we're not going to be where we were at.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we're going to be closer to that Trestle Bridge, that Kunzu, which we didn't go to because it's in one of the state parks that's right there. But it was called the 8th wonder of the world because it was the longest railroad trestle bridge. Look it up. It's like Kenzu Bridge, I think is what it's called. And actually they filmed an episode of what was that Bigfoot show? Not Expedition Bigfoot, the other one. The one that's not on anymore. The one with Bobo and
I know what you're talking about.
Moneymaker and those. And they filmed an episode from that bridge, part of it. They filmed part of the episode from the bridge. But either way, it's super cool to go out there because it's the bridge that's still standing.
Yeah,
is an observation deck now. Where the rest of it's all twisted metal, and where it collapsed in 2003, I think, from a tornado.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's really cool. So it'll be you, me, and Gwen.
Okay,
and maybe one other. Oh, Denny, the guy. The guy, the raptor guy. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And basically, just so you know, and I'll say this on air, just so we're kind of planning on filming a documentary.
All about it.
Bring your drone.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
because that'll be
it's got the 4K.
Exactly. So,
you know?
I mean, we have, I don't know how many GoPros. I think we've got 4 GoPros, plus I've got my 4K camera. I've got well, you know how many iPhones I have.
Yeah.
And 2 of my iPhones shoot 4K. So
yeah. I mean, we're good on all.
Oh, we are, man.
Levels.
And I have all the power we would ever need now because I have the
you got a generator?
Not a generator, but the power
bank. Yeah,
the power banks, which are legit power banks. But I've been thinking about buying one of those whispered, like the 1400 watt whisper generators.
Well, there you go. I have one. We can
so we have no issues with power. Yeah, and by then I'm also gonna have I don't know how I'm gonna buy it, but we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna have a rooftop tent for myself. So
hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, man.
Exciting shit, man.
It is. So this year is gonna be great. Oh, plus we're gonna be at the we got a couple of festivals to go to this year too.
Yeah.
So we got the festival in August. And there's another one in October. Oh, so just so you know, I'll talk to you about it off because it's not solidified yet, but it'll be in October. Okay. And I would like you to come to that too, but we'll talk details because it's not totally because for the Central PA we're a sponsor. And I'm setting up a sponsorship for this other one as well. Okay. So we'll be a sponsor for that too. So anyway, people don't need to hear this, but it's kind of good. Things are moving and shaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good.
We're getting there, brother.
Yeah, man. So awesome talk. And we'll do this again, I don't know, shortly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we'll talk about some other stuff. But
maybe
Sasquatch related though.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
I got bad thoughts that make my mind scared. Hold me hostage and they don't fight fair. Who gon' pray for me and wipe all my tears? Who gon' save me if you not right here? Move this darkness and make my sight clear. Take me your way cause I don't like here. Ghosts of my past, they fill in the night air. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Trapped in my nightmares. Drowning, I'm off the deep end. Apparitions of all my demons. All my thoughts are committing treason. All alone, who gon' hear me screaming? Manifestations of my fears. Regrets that stretched out for light years. Can almost touch the light, homie, it's right there. Body free but trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, don't let me drown. All the lights are fading now.